Hi everyone, welcome to week 8 of our Composition 2 class. I want to walk you through some of the things that we're going to be doing this week. This week we are going to be focusing on writing an annotated bibliography, which also sort of includes making sure that you understand how to use MLA formatting. You will be drafting your paper for writing project 2, and you'll also be participating in a peer review. So I'm going to go ahead and read the lecture portion here. By this week, you should have a rough draft of Writing Project 2 completed. You will be sharing your work with your peers, and together you will be examining the work for MLA style, such as whether in-text citations and the works cited entries are correctly formatted. Citations are a big part of Writing Project 2, so it's very important that you accurately cite your work. You will also be completing a brief annotated bibliography in which you will discuss what information those sources provide on your topic and how they might be used as part of your own work. The annotated bibliography should include some brief notes offering your opinions on the text and describing the text's contents. You may also discuss questions you have about the text or concerns you have regarding the information provided by the source. Those notes really are for your use. In the end, make note of what will be useful to you as you complete your writing project 2. Our first step for this week is a couple of readings from the Norton Field Guide. So we have chapter 15, which is on annotated bibliographies. And you should also review the chapter on MLA style, which is going to be chapter 54 in the 5th edition. Now, there's a lot of information in that chapter. I'm definitely not expecting you to read through all of it, but be aware that there is a helpful section on MLA, and you should be able to look up many of the questions that you might have about correctly citing your sources. And I also have a supplemental reading here as well, also from the Norton Field Guide. It is the chapter on getting response and revising, which is chapter 32. This chapter will talk you through a little bit about peer review as well as the process of revising your paper to make sure that it's nice and polished and ready to be submitted. In step 2, you're going to be creating an annotated bibliography. Now that you have started finding your research sources, it is time to begin judging those sources to determine what information from them may be useful for your writing project 2. Now, in Writing Project 2, you're required to use 2 sources found using the Columbus State Library research databases, and to cite those sources using in-text citations and a works cited page. You can find some examples in chapter 15 on annotated bibliographies. And following the examples in that chapter, you are going to be creating what is called an evaluative annotated bibliography. So I want to break down those words there a little bit. So a bibliography is a list of sources that are being referenced. So bibliographies are, come at the end of articles or books, and they show you the different texts that the writer engaged with. So a bibliography is just a list of sources, and the word annotated means to take notes on something. So an annotated bibliography is essentially just a list of sources that you are using, and then you're also taking some notes on those sources. Now, the only word we haven't looked at is evaluative, which means that it is an annotated bibliography that is going to be evaluating something. In an evaluative annotated bibliography, you are evaluating the usefulness of your sources. You're trying to think about ways in which you might be able to incorporate those sources into a project. As you are creating your annotated bibliography, you want to make sure that you're pretty closely following the examples that are provided. Pay close attention to the examples specifically given on pages 190 through 191, if that's the 4th edition, and then pages 192 and 193 in the 5th edition. This exercise, writing the annotated bibliography, will help you learn how researchers evaluate and keep track of the information they find. This may not seem that useful when you're only dealing with a couple of sources, as you are in Writing Project 2, but you'll have a dozen or more sources to evaluate when we get to Writing Project 3. And maintaining an ongoing annotated bibliography of your sources is a really good way to just keep track of all that information and to help keep things organized. And before I move on to step 3 here, we have a quick note. Students tend to get a little bit confused about the annotated bibliography. The annotated bibliography is a separate assignment from Writing Project 2. So when you submit Writing Project 2, you're going to have a works cited page, but you aren't going to be including your annotated bibliography. An annotated bibliography is just a research tool. It's something to help you keep track of your sources and your ideas. In step 3, you should review the assignment sheet for Writing Project 2. Now, hopefully you have already looked at the assignment sheet a couple of times, but it's not a bad idea to take another look at the prompt. Make sure that you're really you're doing everything that it asks you to do. Make sure that you are following all the requirements. In step 4, you are going to be formatting your the analytical essay portion of Writing Project 2 according to MLA style. Attached here, we have an example of the first page in an MLA essay. In MLA, your first page is going to look different from all the rest, and so that's what we're going to kind of practice here in this step. While your Writing Project 2 genre pieces can be formatted however best presents their information, your analytical essay must be formatted in MLA style. For this assignment, you need to review the MLA style guidelines and format your analytical essay section of Writing Project 2 to match those guidelines. Please review the following sample MLA page, which is this up here, and the MLA tutorial video, which is this down here. If you are not using the latest version of Microsoft Word, you can find tutorial videos for your specific word processing program by searching for Word Processing Program's name and MLA format on YouTube. And after you review these materials, so after you watch this video and take a look at this sample page here, you are going to create your own first page of your analytical essay following MLA guidelines. This is one of the things that you're going to be submitting at the end of the week. So you will actually be creating this page and submitting it later on this week. In step 5, you're going to be reviewing the Columbus State Library's MLA Citations LibGuide or Library Guide. This site, click on the step 5 title here for access. Provides you with instructions on how to properly cite sources for the works cited page, how to create in-text or parenthetical citations in the body of your essay, and how to format your research essay, and how to evaluate and use citation generators. So lots of helpful info here by clicking on the title of step 5. Read through the portions that you think will be helpful to you. You're not submitting anything for this step. I just wanted to draw your attention to some really helpful resources that are available to you. In step 6, you are going to be drafting your essay. Your draft should be approximately 1,250 words and include your analytical essay, 2 genre pieces, and 2 reader notes. Your multi-genre essay should be constructed in one document with each piece titled and starting at the beginning of a clean page. You must include in-text citations in your analytical essay and a works cited page at the end of your document. Any sources used in your genre pieces can be informally cited. contact me if you have any questions about doing any of those things. Be certain to use the resources available. We've talked through some of them already. You have a variety of MLA resources that I have connected you to here throughout our weekly module. So make sure that you're looking over those, and there you should be able to find all the information you really need to properly format your document. Review your pre-writing and process work assignments. Read through the example essays that are available. I would reread the Writing Project 2 assignment sheet. There's lots of things that you can be doing this week to make sure that your draft is as good as you want it to be. After you have drafted your essay, you are going to be posting it to the discussion board. And we're going to be doing a little bit of a peer review activity here. For this peer review assignment, you will get feedback on your MLA formatting and give feedback to 2 peers on their MLA formatting. It is important to ensure your work and the work of your peers exactly matches MLA style guidelines. If your work is not formatted correctly, you will lose points on your final draft. Your draft should be approximately 1,250 words. It should include in-text citations and a works cited page, and it should be correctly formatted per MLA style. You have your first post due by 11:59 p.m. on Thursday. After you have posted your draft, include some notes about any struggles that you are having with MLA. For your second post, which is due by 11:59 on Saturday, once you have posted your draft and your comments, you need to read and comment on at least 2 other posts by your peers. Offer any suggestions you can about general MLA style, such as page numbers, heading, line spacing, in-text citations, including lead-ins, or what are also called signal phrases, parenthetical citations, and any missing citations. You can also comment on their works cited page and the entries there. General formatting of the works cited page, formatting of the works cited page entries, and the required information for the different types of sources that they are using. So you can tell that this round of peer review is really focusing on MLA, but you are certainly welcome to point out other issues that you have identified in your peers' paper if you happen to notice any. In step 8, you are going to be submitting your work. So for this week, you need to submit everything that you completed for steps 2 and 4. So let's go back and take a look at those. Step 2 is the annotated bibliography, so you'll be submitting that. And step 4 is the first page of your analytical essay, making sure that you have formatted it correctly in MLA. And that is all for this week. Be sure to let me know if you have any questions or concerns, and I will do my best to help you out.